Blood relationships. This is a topic that is related to our day-to-day life since we are bound to our kith and kin through relationships. In this section, the examiner uses very complex terms and words to explain the simple relationships of our day-to-day life. Some of the most common terminologies that we use in defining our relationships include a father's or mother's son is known as a brother, a father's or mother's daughter is known as sister, a father's or mother's brother is known as uncle, a father's or mother's sister is known as aunt, a father's or mother's mother is known as grandmother, while a father's or mother's father is known as grandfather. Similarly, son's wife is known as son-in-law, husband's or wife's sister is known as sister-in-law, brother's son is known as nephew, while the brother's daughter is known as niece, and aunt's or uncle's son or daughter is known as cousin. Sister's husband is known as brother-in-law. Paternal grandfather's or paternal grandmother's only son is known as father. Paternal grandfather's or paternal grandmother's only daughter-in-law is known as mother. Paternal grandfather's or paternal grandmother's daughter-in-law could be either mother or aunt. Now we come on to some of the basic steps that we need to follow in order to solve the questions on blood relationships. The first step is to choose the two persons between whom a relationship has to be established. The second step is to form clarity on the intermediate relationship that exists between the two individuals or persons. And in the third step, we conclude the relationship directly between the two persons as per the requirements of the question. To have a better clarity, we shall now move on to the examples. I'll just give you a basic example to start with. For example, my father's only child. My father's only child obviously implies me, myself. Similarly, Radha's husband's father-in-law's only daughter. So when we talk about Radha's husband's father-in-law, it implies that the father-in-law is the father of Radha. So husband's father-in-law means that lady's father. So Radha's husband's father-in-law's only daughter implies Radha herself. So that is how you go about resolving or rather solving this particular pattern of questions. Now we shall move on to the specific examples. Introducing a woman, a man said, her only brother is the only son of my father. How is the woman related to the man's father? Obviously, the answer is daughter. The second question. Q's mother is the sister of P and daughter of M. S is the daughter of P and sister of T. How is M related to T? So, M could either be the grandfather or grandmother of T. The third question. A's mother is the daughter of V's sister. How is V's mother related to A's mother? The answer is grandmother. So this is how we go about solving the various questions that come under blood relationships. Distance and directions. In this section, questions will be asked to understand the direction of movement of an individual or person from the starting point, or to understand the shortest distance between the starting point and the finishing point. Before we go into the specifics of questions, we need to understand the various directions that we need to consider for answering the questions. We normally have 8 directions, that is the north direction, and we have the other opposite, that is the south direction, and at an angle of 90 degrees both to the left and the right we have the east direction as well as the west direction. At an angle of 45 degrees between the north and the east directions we have the northeast direction. At an angle of 45 degrees between the south and the east directions we have the southeast direction. At an angle of 45 degrees between the south and the west directions we have the southwest direction, and at an angle of 45 degrees between the north and the west direction we have the northwest direction. Now facing south, if a person takes a left turn, it is towards the eastern direction, and facing south, if a person takes a right turn, it is towards the western direction. Similarly, if a person is facing west and he or she takes a left turn, it is towards the southern direction or south direction, and if the person takes a right turn, it is towards the northern direction. So that is how we go about with understanding this various concept of directions. Similarly, if a person is facing northwest, a left turn will indicate a southwest direction, and if a person is facing northwest and he or she takes a right turn, he will be facing the northeastern direction. So that is how we go about with answering the various questions based on distance and directions. So for your better clarity or understanding of this question, I think we can have a couple of examples. The first example: town A is located to the west of town B. Town C is located to the south of town A. Town K is located to the east of town C. Now the question: town K is towards which direction of town A? The answer is southeast of A. The second question: from point P, Rajesh walks south and after 40 meters turns left and walks 30 meters and reaches point F. In which direction is Rajesh with reference to the starting point P? The answer is southeast. Remember, the focus on this question is the direction of the movement of Rajesh rather than the distance. Now we come to the third type of question that may be asked under this section, that is measurement of the shortest distance. From point A, Raj walks 40 meters left towards point B. From point B, Raj walks 30 meters down south. How far is Raj from the starting point? The answer is 50 meters. Obviously, we make use of the Pythagoras theorem here. So this is how we go about with answering the various questions that are asked based on distance and directions. Thank you.